Just follow me. We are soon there. Anytime. I find this a bit scary. Wouldn't it be nice just to talk a little, you and I? It's so nice to just talk a little, you and I. I was just thinking, would you be interested if I told you a little about myself? I have to admit that I never was a particularly good barmaid. I was too shy to joke with the customers, and on top of that, well, quite frankly, I am so horribly ticklish. And the customers at the Winking Skewer all noticed. You bet they had fun trying to tickle me. I don't know how many trays with food I have dropped. The innkeeper was a sweetheart though. He never complained, he just sighed. But I think he might have been just a tad bit relieved when I quit my work after a while. His little daughter Minette was in tears though. I really felt bad about leaving her. We had a tremendous time together, singing and telling stories. I'll tell you more some other day. Let's get moving. So, where are we going now? Wouldn't it be nice to just talk a little, you and I? I heard something interesting the other day. You know Arcadia, the White-Run alchemist? She was so happy because she had inherited a circlet of alchemy from her aunt. Well, the circlet never reached White-Run. A group of bandits stole it. Now Arcadia thinks that she knows which bandits did this, and she says she'll reward anyone who brings back the circlet. Maybe that would be something we could look into one day when we're not too busy? I marked the location on your map, then you decide.
You picked a bad time.
Looks like we got ourselves a hero. It's
Cleave you with my sword.
enough.
Don't you even try that. Hey, what are you doing?
What do you need, my friend? I can hardly believe it. Here, it's all I can spare. Take care of yourself.
Yes? So, where are we going now?
To think an entire snow elf temple was right under the Imperial's noses this whole time. Well, parts of a snow elf temple at any rate. It definitely makes me wonder what happened that could cause every snow elf structure to have sunk into the earth like this. Farewell.
Those are some impressive ruins down there. I'd hate to fall off into that pit though. Watch your footing in there. Alright.
It really is amazing to think that the snow elf ruin has been down there, under the fort, all this time. Goodbye, then.
Good to see you again. I can hardly believe what you found here. It's quite interesting indeed. Until next time.
What can Ladoria do for you, Game Master? Happy hunting.
You there, traveler! Over here! That's close enough. Here we go!
That's the best. Don't you think so? You will make a lovely tail. Come on, show me how brave you are. Wouldn't it be nice to just talk a little, you and I? It's so nice to just talk a little, you and I. I was just thinking, would you be interested if I told you a little about myself? I've never been very good at spell casting, but during our time together I've certainly practiced healing spells quite a lot. At this point I'm so good at it that I might even be able to heal you. We could try it sometime if you like. Just tell me when you'd like my help. So, where are we going now? I'm getting better and better at this. Don't you think so too? Let me see. You have all the ingredients on your list now, haven't you? Oh, that is wonderful. Now I just have to find the ones remaining on my list. Anytime. There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Have you got a minute? There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Have you got a minute? I have now only one thing left that I need to collect before we can return to Anesia. Isn't that great? Yes, I'm so happy. Now we only need to find this last thing though. It's a dragon bone. You don't happen to have one somewhere? I mean, else we will have to wait for a dragon to kill, won't we? right. You know, I'm so glad that I'm not alone in this. I wouldn't be able to kill a dragon, but I'm sure that you can do it. Just be careful, will you? I wouldn't want anything to happen to you. Here, I have been making some potions. Maybe they can help protecting you against the dragon. Shall we continue? You wanted to talk to me? You have? Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. Let's return to Anesia in the Eldergleam Sanctuary. I'm sure she will be very pleased with what we have collected. Anytime.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Finally here. Let's go and find Anesia. Anesia, guess what? We have found all the ingredients now.
All of them. That's good.
Here they are. Do you think you can do something to restore the content of that bottle now?
Yes, I think it should be possible. But it would take a little time, and I need to be alone while working on it.
I understand. Is there anything you'd like us to do meanwhile?
Yes, there is. I have completed a list of ingredients for my friend Jelena. If you could bring it to her, this would be of great help for our research.
Oh, I'm sure we can do that.
Here, give this note to Jelena. I believe she could be in Windhelm by now.
But, I don't know what she looks like.
Your friend would recognize her. Give the note to your friend, and then the two of you can go to Windhelm together.
I will do so. Oh, Anesia, this is so exciting, and I'm so grateful for your help.
I am happy to help whenever I can. That is what I'm here for. Yes?
I have promised Anesia that we will run a little errand for her while she restores the content of my bottle. Here, take this ingredients list. It is for Jelena, the pilgrim you met earlier on. It is better that you have it, as you can recognize her. Anesia told me that she is likely to be in Windhelm. We should go there and find her. And once we return here, maybe, hopefully, Anesia has been able to restore the content of my mysterious bottle. Oh, it's so exciting. Don't you think so too? Anytime.
Yes?
Come on in. We've got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
Yes? Good, good. I've been waiting to hear from her. I dearly hope her work is proceeding well, and that she has found all the plants she needed. Goodbye.
Let's hurry back to Anesia. Oh, I'm so eager to see if she has been able to restore the content of my bottle.
Hello, friend.
I am glad you're here. We need to talk about Vilja's bottle. I have managed to restore the content of the bottle. These are the good news. However, it wasn't exactly what I had expected. It was worse. You better look for yourselves. Just follow the path to the stairs. Goodbye.
Come, let's go to the meeting. This is so exciting.
Yes?
What on earth? Who on earth are you?
That's what I asked myself to do. I know who I am. But right now, I feel like a pinhead behind figures. A deep, mysterious underworld. Tell me, have I been missed?
Well, I inherited the bottle from my grandmother, who had inherited it from her grandmother. Several hundred years ago, I think.
Several hundred years? Your grandmother? Tell me, who are you?
I'm Vilja. I'm from Skyrim, but my grandmother told me to bring a bottle to the living sanctuary in Skyrim in order to get them to the story.
Vilja. I see. Then you must be the great-great-granddaughter. No friend of mine. The friend that took care of me when I, became living. My name is Vilja, right? For a rich living in Cyrodiil. Well, at least I was living in Cyrodiil before I had an accident.
May I ask how you ended up in that bottle?
It was my daughter's fault, of course. But she never had more brain than her grandma. I shouldn't have used her recipe for a potion of eternal youth and beauty.
what my mother told me.
Bah! You just take a little of this and a little of that, and you mix it and you drink it. You should have worked like a jar. I can't understand what went wrong. It did help. Did it? I mean, they do look young and beautiful, right?
Well, maybe. But the main thing is, of course, that you aren't fluid anymore, isn't it? Tell me, how are you feeling now?
Feeling? I'm the size of a million, and I am still making flesh sound whenever I try to move. How would that make you feel? So, even if I'm out of bottom, I wouldn't exactly call myself human.
Can we help you in any way?
Of course you can. I need something to stabilize myself and something to bring myself back to the normal size. And I need something to drink. Can you imagine being trapped inside a bottle for what appears to be an eternity? Being able to drink at all.
So, tell me, what do you need?
I have some ideas of that. But first, I want to thank your friend over there. I assume the two of you have been working together on getting me out of this bottle. Hello there. There's no reason to be shy. Come over here and talk for a while with old Dunmer lady. What's on my mind? Well, I want to thank you, of course. After all, it isn't only thanks to Vilja, but I finally got out of a bottle. And it won't be all thanks to her if I manage to regain my normal size and get rid of this feeling of flashing whenever I move around. She'll need your help to help me. And I do hope you will help her. Good. Good. Then I will tell you what I need in order to regain full health and strength. I need blood. Yeah. That's exactly what I need. But not any blood will do, of course. In order to regain my size, I need at least 10 drops of blood from a blood relative. A blood relative from a great house? Lalu. I'm sure that somewhere in Skyrim there must be someone who carries my beautiful surname. And I'm sure that someone as sharp as you can convince this relative of mine to provide me with the blood I need to recover. If you can't charm them, maybe you could just torture them a bit. Or something like that. Use your creativity. Just make sure you bring me the blood. Now, before you go searching for my relatives, there's just one more thing. What do you think of the potion of eternal youth and beauty? Did it do its job? I mean, apart from making me fluid and reducing my size by 50%, did it have any good effects as well? I do look young and beautiful, don't I? beauty is supposed to look stern, stubborn, and irresistible. I think potion pretty much had that effect. Maybe I have to work a little on stubborn, though. I must admit, I've always been a little too, well, weak. Right. Let's not discuss my looks. Well, at least not right now. I'll be perfectly happy to continue the discussion later on. What we need right now is blood from a relative of mine. I'm sure you could sort that out somehow. Preferably without killing anyone, of course. Farewell.
So tell me, what did Aneri say? Hlalu. I'm pretty sure that I have heard about someone with the name Hlalu here in Skyrim. But where was that? Isn't there a Hlalu farm somewhere? Now where was that? I'm sure it was in a snowy area and not too far from a city. No, I can't recall. At least not right now. We have to look around for it. Are you hungry? I could make a meal for you if you like. As long as I've got the right ingredients, I can always prepare something for you. Now, what would you like to eat? That should work fine. Just a second. Now, let me see. Here you are. Talk later.
Starting to get too old to work all day. But hopefully Master Hlalu will let me slow down a bit.
Do I look like a Dunmer to you? Speak to my master, or his so-called aunt.
Yeah,
Welcome to the land of eternal snow and gloominess. I'm Falanu Halalu, originally from Cyrodiil, but nowadays on indefinite holiday here. I got into some silly problems back in my hometown. I don't want to go into details, but it was related to eternal youth and some reuse of body parts. So, I decided to go on holidays to my cousin's grandson, Belen. The simple living on a rural farm seemed attractive. Relaxing in the garden, picking flowers, helping a little with this and a little with that. Of course, I had expected the climate to be, well, somewhat different. And I had expected my cousin's grandson to see me as a highly valued relative rather than his workforce. Of course, I'm planning on going back home as soon as possible, when things have calmed down a bit and people have forgotten. Which I guess might take another 100 years or so. But I am an elf. I have still a long life ahead of me. Well, as it's too cold to be outdoors, I have spent quite some time on writing books on alchemy. In particular, my 100 Ways to Use a Falmer Ear has become quite a success. I take it you already own a copy? Then of course you want to buy a copy. You know what? I'll give you a special price. Only 15 gold, and then it's signed. That's what I thought. You've come all the way here just for a signed copy of my masterpiece. Here you are. My mother's alive after all these years? It must have been 300 years since I gave her that recipe of eternal youth and beauty. Of course, that crazy old witch doubled the potion, and as a result had some, well, bad side effects. I did warn her, actually. I heard that a friend of hers bottled her up, but I always thought the bottle had been buried, or that someone ended up drinking the content. Nords, bah! Give them a bottle, and they'll sooner or later drink the content. Are you out of your mind? I need my blood myself. Yes, that is true. I need to think on this a little. And I always think better after a bottle of good Alto wine and a honey nut treat. I tell you what, you bring me a bottle of good Alto wine and a honey nut treat, and I'll ponder on whether or not I should help her. Welcome to the land of eternal snow and gloominess. Excellent, and I have made up my mind. You see, we may have argued for decades, but Henry is still my mother. A crap mother, if you ask me, but still. She can have 10 drops of my blood. It would be really nice to meet her again. There's nothing like a good argument between mother and daughter.
Let's hurry back to Henry with the blood. Oh, I bet she will be happy when she hears that we have actually met her daughter.
Any luck finding a blood relative of mine? My daughter Falano? In Skyrim? I thought she was busy cooking up various nasty potions in Cyrodiil. Oh, I guess the citizens of Skingrad finally got fed up with her and chased her out of town. So, what is she doing in Skyrim? So, she is on vacation, huh? Visiting relatives. And they haven't thrown her out yet. That's odd. I bet she's spending her days relaxing in the garden and picking flowers, while her relatives have to serve her with food and wine. And I bet she was not willing to give you 10 drops of blood to help her older mother. And you are sure it is really her blood? Not horse blood or ink blood, or something even worse. Good, good. Then Give it to me, please. Yes. Cheers. Yes, it did help. Now, if I could just get rid of his funny glow. Well, I guess it will wear off sooner or later. Funny. It must have been Falana's blood. I have misjudged her. Either that, or she's just bored and needs something to do. After all, there's nothing that will raise one's spirit like a good old-fashioned mother and daughter argument. And my daughter really loves arguing. Absolutely not! I still feel kind of plashy whenever I try to move around. And there's only one thing that would help me cure that. More blood, of course. But not any blood would do. It has to be very special. I need blood on someone dragonborn. Quite a coincidence, don't you think so? Yes, of course you are. Everyone knows that. Even I know that. And I have spent my time inside a bottle. So, what do you say, Dragonborn? Will you let a poor old woman have a sample of your precious blood? Wonderful! That's what I thought to myself. Someone who can kill that dragon single-handed wouldn't be afraid of a little pain and blood. So, give me your hand, please. This won't hurt much. Such possible tiny blood sample. And you are supposed to be a dragon ball. Indeed, I will do so. Cheers. Oh, that's exactly what I needed. Now, I feel as good as reborn again. Now, let me just relax a few minutes, and then we'll talk again.
Yes?
I
So,
have been
where are we going now?
I think it would be a good idea if you escorted me to my daughter. I am, as you may know, not so familiar with the Skyrim roads. As you obviously know where my daughter is, I think it would be a good idea if you escorted me to her. I'm really looking forward to seeing her. I've missed her ugly looks and her bad temperament. After all, there's nothing like a good win or die argument between mother and daughter. And I think I deserve a holiday after all that I have been through. I'm looking forward to spending my days relaxing in a countryside garden, reading a book, and maybe pick some nice flowers. No, don't spoil the fun of a good surprise. I'm sure everyone there will be happy to see me, but I will just love the rural environment. So, will you take me to my daughter? Thank you so much. Shall we leave immediately? I will be waiting for you.
There's something I'd like to talk to you about. Have you got a minute? Is it all right with you if I don't come with you and Henry? You see, there's something I need to do. I have received a letter from Wilbert. He will soon be leaving Skyrim, but before doing so, he has something important to talk to me about. I'm not sure what this is about, but I really feel I should go and see him. No, you don't. This is something I should do alone. And besides, Henry is expecting you to escort her to the Lalu farm. You better do so. Once you have escorted Henry, I'll be waiting for you in Dawnstar.
Where did I put my spellbook?
Welcome to the land of eternal snow and gloominess.
Pleasant farm when my daughter is on a so-called vacation. I better have a word with her myself. So, my dear daughter, tell me, are you surprised to see me after all this time? And what do you think? Did it work?
Good day to you, Mother. I'm sorry, what do you mean by, did it work?
Well, the potion, of course. Your recipe. Don't you think I look young and pretty?
Well, at least you're not fluid anymore.
Well, whose fault is it that I became fluid? Why didn't you tell me about the side effects of your recipe?
I told you not to double the recipe. And I told you not to mix a little of this and a little of that like you usually do. Actually, I did a potion for myself as well, and it worked just as it should.
Well, I wouldn't say that. But let's not argue about this now. I want to hear all about what you have been doing and how you ended up in this place. It's not exactly what I would call a good place for a nice vacation.
All right, I will tell you. But maybe you should first say goodbye to your friend, who I believe has other things to do than listening to us.
Yes, you are right about that, of course. Just a moment. Look, there's something I'd like to talk to you about. Have you got a minute? Thank you so much for bringing me here. It's a ghastly place, of course, but that's not your fault. Like it here? Are you insane? It's cold, it's dusty, and generally awful. But I am looking forward to having a good talk with my daughter. And you, my friend, should return to Vilja as soon as possible. I don't know why, but I have a bad feeling about her leaving. If I were you, I'd hurry to her immediately.
There's no need to make fun.
Look, we can discuss this later, but right now, I really think that you should go and find Vilja as soon as possible.
Yes? You're welcome. Let me know if you want. I think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
Oh, did you need something?
Welcome back. It's always a pleasure to see you. Yes, she has been here, and we talked for a long time. In fact, we were discussing the future. I'm planning to leave for Cyrodiil and have asked her to come with me. She is fantastic with her flute, and she handles the lute quite well. I think she has the potential to become a really good bard. Well, if she can stay away from dancing on the table, that is. Nothing? Strange, isn't it? From the first day I met her, she has been claiming that she wants to become a bard. But now, when the opportunity arises, she seems to have second thoughts about it. She murmured something about true friendship being more important than music, and she actually sounded as if she would prefer to stay in Skyrim. Well, that's up to her, of course. I know where I stand as far as music and true friendship are concerned. My music and my lute are my only true friends, and I know it's a friendship that will last for the rest of my life. Well, I'm actually a bit concerned over that. You see, shortly after she had left, a group of big, broad, barbarian-looking Nords came in here and asked about her. One of them, I think his name was Halfdan, said he was a relative of hers, and as I thought it was her brother, I told him what I knew. But then I saw a glimpse in his eye, and I didn't like that glimpse at all. He looked downright cruel. And as they left the inn, I heard him say something to his friends about teaching the wildcat a lesson she won't forget. Frankly, I'm concerned, but I'm not brave enough to deal with a bunch of big barbarian Nords.
You should quit working in the Eastern
Yes.
Mines. Leg Elf's no good to work for.
wonder what it was. You are here. You have come to rescue me. Oh, my dearest, dearest friend. I was hoping so much that you would be able to find me. Oh, that bastard Halvdan. He had convinced some of his dumbest adoring fans to kidnap me and bring me here. After I had met Wilbert in Dawnstar, I was heading for Whiterun. Well, there were some things I felt I needed to think over on my own. As I was so deep in my own thoughts, I didn't hear them coming until they were right behind me. I didn't even get a chance to draw my weapon. They knocked me unconscious and dragged me here. When I woke up, my arms and legs were tied up and I didn't know where I were. Eventually, I managed to roll over the floor until I found a sharp edge, and somehow I managed to untie the ropes. That was only a few minutes ago. I still don't know where I am, but it appears to be some kind of shipwreck, right? The wreck of Brinehammer, but that's really far up in the north. I must have been unconscious for quite some time. And to think that you managed to find me here. Oh, my dearest, dearest friend. I am so grateful that you have come to rescue me. All the time while I was trying to untie my ropes, I was thinking of you, hoping that a miracle will bring you here. And now you are here. I have no idea how you found me, but I am so happy that you did. Now, please, this place is dangerous. Let's get out of here as quickly as possible, and then we talk later. So, where are we going now? Uh-oh. You will be so dead. Uh-oh, did I scratch your pretty face? Dearest friend, there are some things I need to talk to you about. Some things that needs to be said. Before I continue, I just want to thank you again for rescuing me. I don't know what would have happened to me if it hadn't been for you. And then, I want to thank you for everything else you have done for me. Thanks to you, I have managed to fulfill both my missions in Skyrim. I have my flute back, and Heniri is released from the bottle. And therefore I guess it's time for me to move on. While you escorted Heniri to the Lalu farm, I went to Dawnstar to talk to Wilbert. You see, I had received a letter from him, a letter where he asked to see me. It turned out that he wanted me to come with him to Cyrodiil to work as a bard. It has always been my dream to become a bard, and I have always dreamt of going to Cyrodiil. Still, I'm not sure. You see, this time in Skyrim has been the best in my life. I have so much enjoyed our adventures, to explore Skyrim together with you. And I have been so happy for our friendship. Never before have I had a friend like you. Of course it sounds tremendous to go to Cyrodiil and become a bard. It's what I used to dream of. It's just that, well, my dreams have changed. What do you mean? Look, you and I have had a wonderful time. The thought of leaving, it's almost unbearable. But if I leave, I doubt I will ever return to Skyrim. You see, if I return here and find that you are no longer around, I think that would break my heart. Therefore, if you want me to stay, then please tell me. Else, it's time to say goodbye. Do you want me to leave? Do you mean that? You do want us to stay together? I am so happy to hear these words from you. I have been secretly wishing, but I haven't dared to put my hopes too high. You see, I do love playing music, but our friendship is even more precious to me. If this is where you want me to be, then I want to be here too. It doesn't matter where we are, as long as we are together. Just one more thing. This. Wouldn't it be nice to just talk a little, you and I? Tell me honestly, is my accent a problem for you? Thank you. That's really sweet of you. What's on your mind, friend? My dearest friend, with your help my mission has been completed. I hope Henir will have a good time together with her daughter at Lalu farm. Who knows? Maybe we can visit them from time to time? Of course. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss? Do you think so? You know, I was actually just wondering if I would look prettier if I dyed my hair red. What do you say? So, you don't like my hair the way it is then? What's on your mind, friend? My mom always says that if you feel happy, you look pretty. And I do feel happy today. Of course. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss? Would you like that? You do know that I'd be quite happy to read a book for you, don't you? I cannot say that I'm very good at it, but I practice it a lot in solitude. Minette, the innkeeper's daughter, often asks me to read aloud for her and her friends. Actually, I think they found my thick accent quite amusing, especially when I pronounced things the wrong way. We also had quite fun playing tags together. Sometimes the kid raced me all the way to Katla's farm. I often let them win, of course. Don't laugh at me, I did let them win. I can run very fast for very long if I want to. In fact, I bet I could run faster than you, if I really try, that is. Just tell me if you want to give it a try. Talk later.
Yeah. Yes?
Yes?
Yes? Shall we continue? Yes? What's on your mind, friend? Would you like that? I have never been a very good alchemist, to be honest. My mother taught both me and my sister, but my sister was so much more talented than I. You know, since you and I started to travel together, I have discovered something. I'm actually a quite good fighter. Don't you think so too? Thank you. I will try my best to get even better. Yes? Would you like that? Don't people ever dance on the tables here? In Sol's time we did it all the time. People used to meet up at the mead halls. They had a few tankers of mead, 5 or 10 or so, and then the dancing would begin. It's surely a sight to see a bunch of sturdy Nords jumping and skipping on one leg on a table. Unfortunately, the tables do not last that long. You know, I think it's a rather nice tradition. It would be nice if we could introduce it in Skyrim one of these days. Anytime. Of course. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss? Would you like that? I was talking about my time in Whiterun, wasn't I? One day when I was at the Battered Mare, I met an Argonian merchant who was in need of my assistance. He had a package to be delivered to Windhelm, but he didn't want to go there himself. He said his constitution simply couldn't handle the cold climate in the Windhelm area, and I can surely understand why. Well, I offered to bring the package to the Candlehearth Hall for him, and off I went. Windhelm, what can one say about that place? It's cold, ugly, and generally miserable. I mean, I like snow, but there's a limit also to that. I wonder how the people at the Windhelm marketplace can stand that situation, although they do have one advantage. The meat for sale must stay fresh for a very long time, as it probably is frozen. Are you hungry? I could make a meal for you if you like. As long as I've got the right ingredients, I can always prepare something for you. Now, what would you like to eat? That should work fine. Just a second. Now, let me see. Here you are. Are you hungry? I could make a meal for you if you like. Well, if you say so. Yes? Would you like that? It's strange that snow in Windhelm can be so different from snow in Solstheim. The Windhelm snowstorms are just horrible, whereas at home... I've always loved the brisk snowy days in Solstheim and the games we used to play. One thing I miss from Solstheim is the snowball wars. The young people in the village where I lived used to build forts of snow and roll snowballs. Then we attacked. The winner was the team that managed to destroy the opponent's fort. Of course, my sister and I cheated at times. We used our mother's meatballs and rolled them to snowballs. They were excellent ammunition. Mom got furious, of course. She said it was a sacrilege to use food as ammunition. But then she couldn't help laughing, and she gladly admitted that her meatballs never were that great as food anyway. Are you hungry? I could make a meal for you if you like. Of course. Of course. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss? Would you like that? I was telling you about my mother's meatballs, right? You know, maybe it was a bit unfair to complain over her cooking. A bit. Maybe. I'm actually better at cooking than my mother. My grandmother taught me, you see. In particular, my grandmother was really good at baking cakes. My sister and I used to help her, although we probably weren't very good at it. We spent more time tasting the dough than actually baking cakes. My grandmother's sweet rolls were incredible. She had to lock them into a chest, else we would eat them all instantly. But the chest didn't help much. You see, Brit's brother was quite good at making lockpicks, and he taught us how to do it too. Grandmother used to complain that her sweet rolls disappeared way too fast, and that she couldn't understand how this happened. But I'm sure she knew what was going on, especially since she found a lockpick that I had forgotten in her basement. You do know, don't you, that I'm quite happy to make lockpicks for you. I only need an iron ingot and access to a forge. Are you hungry? I could make a meal for you if you like. All right. What's on your mind, friend? Would you like that? Did I say that I hated the snowstorms of Windhelm? I really did. Oh, I feel so sorry for the people in this gloomy city. Especially for the elves, of course. I don't understand why the Stormcloaks won't tolerate them. Skyrim belongs to the Nords. Bah! A country cannot belong to a people. That's nuts. It's the people who belongs to their country. Just think of it. You may travel all over Tamriel, but you'll always have your roots where you were born and where your family lives. All right. Yes? Would you like that? Although I didn't find Windhelm that nice, I decided to stay for a few days. I had caught a cold on my way there and rested for a while at the inn. Strange, elderly innkeeper doesn't seem too fond of elves, yet she seems to get along fairly well with the Dunmabard, Luafin. I've often wondered why Luafin is working in the Candlehearth Hall, when she could move on to a friendlier town like Whiterun. If I had been an elf living in Windhelm, I would have left the city immediately. The Candlehearth Hall has good drinks, but the food, don't know. Maybe Nils should take lessons in how to add spices properly. Has Elda told you the story about how the Candlehearth Hall got its name? If not, maybe you should ask her about it. All right. What's on your mind, friend? Would you like that? In Candlehearth Hall I met an elderly mage on her way to the College of Winterhold. The poor lady was injured. She had been attacked by wolves. Her wounds healed, but she was afraid to continue her journey alone. So, although my original plan was to travel southwards, I offered to accompany her. We arrived in Winterhold on a snowy afternoon. As I was in company with a mage, I was allowed to enter the college. What a place it is! I've never been much of a spellcaster, but a nice Breton mage, Colette Marens, was kind enough to give me a lesson in healing spells. I think I learned quite a lot from her actually. Yes, you must surely have seen that for yourself by now. The college library is quite impressive, don't you think so too? So many books. But the librarian seems a bit grumpy. And quite rude too. He actually called me an illiterate idiot, although he isn't that knowledgeable either. Believe it or not, but he said he had never even heard of ABC for barbarians, and that book is such a source of vital knowledge. Of course. Tell me, what do you want? Would you like that? There should be some kind of security block on scrolls. Lightning bolts can be really devastating. Trust me, I know. And so does Enter. I met him at the college, and he asked me if I was interested in buying any scrolls. Of course I was. I'm not sure what happened though. I just wanted to look at the scroll, and bam! A lightning bolt was jumping around all over the room. Poor Enthir. But I actually think his new robe looks better than the old one, and short hair suits him quite well too. For some reason my mage friend from Windhelm didn't seem so interested in my company after that. In fact, she suggested that the sooner I left Winterhold, the better it would be. But I actually stayed in Winterhold at the inn for a few more days. The innkeeper, Dagger, seems to be such a nice, sweet, caring person. And he didn't mind at all when I danced on the table. In fact, he even offered me free meals as reward for the entertainment. Shall we continue? Yes? Tell me, what do you want? Would you like that? When I was at home in Solstein, we often spent cozy evenings at home, my parents and my brothers and sisters and I. We used to eat herring, drink lots of mead, and sing traditional Nord songs. I might sing them for you one of these days. I'm sure you like them. Then we used to play some traditional Nord games as well, like arm wrestling. I was quite good at it actually, better than my brothers. We could do some arm wrestling one of these days if you like, but I warn you right now, I have been practicing a lot, so don't be surprised if I win. Tell me, what do you want? Would you like that? After staying a while in Winterhold, I was so fed up with the winter weather that I felt it was time to move on. I also had heard rumors about the location of Eldergrim's sanctuary and was eager to find out if the rumors were true. But, as you know, I still had no luck with finding the sanctuary on my own. Instead I continued southwards until I finally reached Riften. Riften is a strange city, don't you think so? The Thieves Guild and the Blackbriar family seem to have the city's population in a steady grasp. I met one woman who dared to speak up and say her opinion, Mjoll the Lioness. I was quite impressed by her, and I do think she's right regarding the Thieves Guild. How can people who would betray one another over a gold coin be considered part of an association? That's ridiculous, isn't it? Anytime. Yes? What's on your mind, friend? Would you like that? What do you think of the Temple of Mara in Riften? I know it's supposed to be a temple of love, the place where people get married, but it really isn't a very romantic place, now is it? I mean, a dirty wooden temple in a city that is famous mostly for corruption and thievery. On the other hand, marriage in Skyrim doesn't seem to be a very romantic business either. I mean, the amulet of Mara. You put it on as a kind of advertisement in order to tell people you are available. Is that romantic? Now seriously, hey, I'm wearing an amulet. Would you like to marry me? That's not love. It's just absurd. Maybe I don't fit in Skyrim, because to me marriage should be about love. Real love. And you don't fall in love with someone because of an amulet. Real love is about friendship and trust. To learn to know a person and one day realize that this person actually means the world to you. If I ever marry, it will be out of love. And then I want to wear a beautiful dress. And I want my family to be there. And I want it to be romantic. Something I can think back on and tell my grandchildren about. Anytime. Yes? Yes? Would you like that? In Riften I stayed at the Bee and Barb. Kirava, the innkeeper, might seem a bit harsh at first, but I think she has a heart of gold. And Talon Jay, who's helping her, you know, he's in love with her. One evening he and I were sitting up late and talked of all sorts of things. He told me of the financial problems he had that prevented him from giving Kirava the wedding ring she deserved. I felt so sorry for him. You don't see that many Argonians in Skyrim, and that I can understand. I mean, this cold environment is so different from the Black March. Not that the rift is that cold though. I actually find the rift quite beautiful, especially the birches. Anyway, Talon Jay told many tales about the Black March, and it all sounded so fascinating. I would like to visit the area at some point. Although, not now of course. Honestly, I'm having a blast exploring Skyrim together with you. Tell me, what do you want? Would you like that? Now where were we? Oh yes, in Riften. Kirava offered me to stay for free if I helped out with the cleaning of the Bee and Barb. Of course I accepted. This, I believe, was really good for Talon Jay, who was suffering from back pain because of all the floor sweeping. Now he could relax for a while. I think I would have liked it quite well there, if it hadn't been for that arrogant bastard Mercurio, who thinks he's such a wonderful mage. He was bragging about his magic skills all the time. But when I asked him to show me how to cast a fireball, he simply refused. He He said that countryside Solstheim girls were not fit for any spellcasting. Bastard. So, one night when he was asleep, I went through his notes and found instructions on how to cast a fireball. I memorized the instructions very well, and the next morning I decided to surprise him. I casted a fireball, and it worked. Well, maybe a little too well. The ball flew all over the room and ended up under Kirava's skirt. Suddenly the skirt was on fire. Kirava was screaming, and Tal and Jay threw a bucket with water all over her to put out the fire. Kirava fell into Tal and Jay's arms, crying of gratitude. You know what? I think that from this moment on, she was in love with him too. If I'm right about this, I actually was doing them a favor with that fireball. Don't you think so too? However, Kirava wasn't at all happy with me. She threatened to charge me for damaging her inn, and said it was too risky to have me in the house. At that point, I felt it was time for me to leave. So I took off a white run. But I'll tell you more about this some other time. Right now we have other things to do. Don't you think so too?
Yes?
Of course. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss? Would you like that? I like the nature in the rift, with all the beautiful birches. Still, I think Falkreath is the hole that reminds me most of Solstheim. It's the pine forest, you see. We have plenty of them where I come from, and just like here there are plenty of wolves in the forest. But the wolves back home are easier to tame. I once had a tame wolf, Hagbard. He was just a puppy when my father brought him home. You see, my father had been out hunting, and then he found both Hagbard and his mom in a trap hole. His mom was badly injured. Dad had to shoot her. But little Hagbard was not injured at all. So he brought the puppy home with him. Oh, how I adored him. He was so tiny. I had to feed him with milk. But he grew fast, and as he got older he became my steady companion. Wherever I went, Hagbard was at my side. Then one day, when he was 7 years old, he disappeared. I searched the forest for him for many, many days. Finally I found him, dead. He had been shot with poisoned arrows. Oh, how I wish that I had found him earlier. Maybe I could have saved his life. I never wanted another wolf after that. How could anyone take Hagbard's place? Now a dog is of course something completely different. It is something special with having a pet, isn't it? Shall we continue? We are having a great time together. Tell me, what do you want? Would you like that? My mother may be much better at alchemy than I, but I do have one huge advantage. She has a lousy sense of location, whereas I never get lost. I always find the place I'm heading to. Well, sooner or later, that is. My dearest friend, how are you today? Of course. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss? Would you like that? I got my first diary when I was only 10. It was a birthday present from my grandmother. Actually, I think she gave it to me in the hope that writing a diary would help me to improve my lousy handwriting. That didn't work though. It still looks absolutely horrible. I bet you wouldn't be able to read it. Anyway, I have been trying to keep a diary ever since. But since I met you, I don't have much time to write in it. So, yes? What do you want? Of course. Is there anything in particular that you would like to discuss? Not now.
Wonderful, you're here. This is quite a fantastic find, I must say. And you said that snow elf inspector guided you here? Yes, I noticed that passage. We're working towards building the scaffolding up towards there, but it may take a while. We've made little progress already, so feel free to investigate anything that is accessible. But do be careful. We haven't built the scaffold to the cavern base yet, so if you fall, you may survive due to the water, but you'll likely not get back up.
Guess I'm just being silly.
How can I help? All right then. Good day.
I'm thinking of changing my hair color. Do you think it will look good as a redhead? Do you really mean that? Alright, I might give it a try then. I just have to think it over a little longer. Yes? Well, if you have a sweet roll maybe. Or an apple. Or something for me to drink. Oh, it's alright. Good idea.